Hi, hello, and howdy, and welcome to Of Goths and Goblins, the show where we talk about monsters, both real and imaginary. I'm the thing you keep seeing out of the corner of your eye, Delaney. Emma, please make a goblin noise. Thank you, Emma. Today, we'll be walking down dark paths, some of which may have anticlimactic endings. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are talking about horror ARGs. So, to start off, what is a horror ARG? Essentially, it's like a horror story, but they can be a lot more than just, your simple ooky spooky jump scare. Ghost.
Ghost.
So ARG stands for Alternate Reality Game, which is exactly what it sounds like. A good way to explain it is kind of like an escape room. I understand that you are familiar with escape rooms, right?
Oh, I love escape rooms if they're easy. I can't handle
you give
complex puzzles.
Leaving me alone at the kitchen table, trying to solve it by myself.
No, I just open the answer book after an hour. If it takes too long,
Not
I'm
even
out.
An hour. 30 minutes. 30 minutes done.
It takes
I'm
too
bored.
long. It's a waste of my time.
So, say, for example, you, me, and the Pushins are having a night out on the town, and we decide to go to an escape room. We show up and decide what room we want to go through. Say we want to go through a spooky room for thematic preference. So, we go in, and the game master provides all of the right clues at all of the right times. In our case, the creator of the ARG is our game master, and the room itself is the game. It's taking elements of the fantastical and presenting them as real. For another example, we all know that the sun hasn't vanished, but for the poster of the Twitter account, The Sun Vanished, they have provided all of the evidence that the sun has indeed vanished. So we tag along with the story, we help them when they need help, and we grow attached. Does that make any sense?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so this will get a little bit better, because I'm going to go and start explaining a few ARGs.
Oh, okay, yeah, that'll definitely help.
Yeah, some of these aren't horror ARGs, but I thought they were interesting. So the first one, what is most commonly accepted as the first ARG, is a game called The Beast. It was created by Microsoft to promote the movie AI Artificial Intelligence. Don't ask me what the movie is about, I don't know, and frankly, I didn't care enough to look it up. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Well, we can assume it is about artificial intelligence.
Yeah, probably.
So, the plot, from what I found, is pretty straightforward. In the year 2142, Evan Chan is found dead on his boat, the Cloudmaker. The cover-up the cops have been giving was a boating accident. But cryptic messages lead his friend, Janine Sala or Saya, depending, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it, to believe that he was murdered. She is now attempting to solve said murder. That's the basic setup. And you have to remember that at the time, people didn't really think that this was going to lead them on a wild goose chase. But Microsoft was leaving hints everywhere. And I mean everywhere. There were print ads in the newspaper and even graffiti on bathroom stalls that would lead to, it was wild. It would lead to the big twist of the ARG. And that big twist is that Evan was actually, in fact, murdered and that we were all right. Things get a little bit complicated as to who he was actually murdered by, or should I say, what he was murdered by. Evan was murdered by Venus, the AI system on his boat. She was reprogrammed to kill instead of be a helpful little onboard assistant. This leads to many cover-ups of different murders of humans all at the same time, that a bill is being passed that make artificial intelligence equal to humanity. I think then that leads into the movie. Like I said, I have never seen it, and I didn't care to look it up. I probably should have.
Must not be that important.
Well, yeah.
It's just the intro.
Yeah, no, that's basically the game, right? Is it starting to make more sense?
Yeah.
So, since the game The Beast, ARGs have grown very popular. And we can't talk about ARGs really, specifically horror ARGs, without talking about Marble Hornets. Have you heard of Marble Hornets at all?
No idea what that is.
Okay. So, Marble Hornets is a story that follows the production of a student film going by the same name. The set of the movie was very strange and hostile. The director, Alex, was easily aggravated and incredibly hostile towards his actors. He insisted that the cameras be rolling at all times, even when they weren't acting in front of them. Like, if they weren't acting out a scene, even if it was just filming the set, no actors, he insisted that the cameras be on. He also kept a personal camera on him, filming anything he saw. Sometime during the filming of the movie, Alex suddenly stopped production of any kind and says that he's going to burn all the tapes of everything that they had just filmed and worked on regarding the movie. A time jump to a few years later, and Jay, our protagonist, who worked on the set of Marble Hornets, is now curious as to whatever happened to the tapes and contacts Alex. Remarkably, somehow Alex still has the tapes and loads them off to Jay on the condition that they never speak of them again. And this is where we get our first account and the explanation for everything that I just told you, the account Marble Hornets on YouTube. There are a few Twitter accounts and other adjacent accounts, but Marble Hornets on YouTube is the main one that we'd be following. Here we see that the set of the film Marble Hornets was plagued by an entity known as the Operator, or I suppose more commonly known as Slender Man. Are you familiar?
Oh, yes.
Okay, tell me what you know about.
I just got interested.
Wow, you haven't been interested this whole
I
time.
was a little like, oh, yeah, sure.
So then, Emma, tell me what you know about Slender Man.
Oh, I know lots about Slender Man, okay?
Okay.
He's tall.
Wow.
He's skinny.
Okay. One could say
slender.
One could say he's slender.
Yes.
He's a slender man.
Slender, if you will.
He's a thin chap.
A skinny boy.
Skinny legend Mariah Carey.
Maybe I just lied because I don't know a lot about him specifically. I just know kind of about like the two girls that murdered their friend for him.
The Slender Man stabbings?
Yeah.
Don't get me started on the Slender Man stabbings, but I'm getting started on the Slender Man stabbings.
You just got started on.
Oh, don't get me started, but I'm started. So, how much do you know about the Slender Man stabbings?
They brought their friend into the woods and then murdered her.
That's essentially...
Scissors?
No, it was a kitchen knife. I think.
That kind of made me disappointed in them.
I know, but...
they could only do so much. Yeah. They're children, after all.
No, so it was two girls. They were 13, I believe, at the time. And they brought their friend into the woods, and they were tricking the girl into being stabbed. Because they wanted Slender Man. They were stabbing their friend to give her as an offering, quote-unquote, to Slender Man. Because one of the girls, the girl in charge of all of this, I don't remember her name, her father was schizophrenia. And I watched a documentary about this, and in the documentary, her father is very distraught in this interview because it's very upsetting to watch because he just goes, yeah, I really wish we would have seen these signs sooner because these are the same signs that I was showing when I was younger. And he looks so upset and it hurts. But it's like she was hearing voices telling her to sacrifice her friend to Slender Man. She genuinely believed that these creepypasta characters existed and were out there, and that Jeff the Killer and Masky and Hoodie, these are all characters in Marble Hornets, not Jeff, but Masky and Hoodie or whatever. Their names are Brian and Tim. Very white boy names. But she genuinely believed that all of these characters existed and that she would be able to meet them if she killed her friend in the name of Slenderman. And so her and her other friend that did the stabbing with her accomplice, had a whole list of things that they had to bring, of things to offer to the other creepypastas to make them like them both. It was a whole thing. It was not good, and I'm pretty sure they're both in jail now. I'm pretty sure they got tried as adults.
Yeah, you can at 13 in certain states.
I believe so, but I'm not sure. But, long story short, the story does have a happy ending. because the girl who was stabbed survived.
Oh, right, yeah, she survived. I thought she was killed for a second, but no, she survived.
She survived, which, good for her. Sorry for the microphone, but no, she was just left in the woods to die. And she hung on, and a jogger found her and called the police and was like, "Hey, there's a little girl here, and I think she's been stabbed." And you can listen to the 911 recording, and the 911 operator is just like, "I'm sorry, what?" He's like, "Yeah, there's a little girl here, and she's been stabbed." And it's a horrible story, but I'm so proud of that little girl for hanging on. Good for her. She's never going to be the same again, no. But good for her.
Gonna have some trust issues now.
Oh, yeah. But
back
to the character.
ARGs.
ARGs.
You will.
We warned you in the trailer.
It's gonna be chaos.
Tangents.
To tangents.
To tangents. So, yes, Slenderman is a slender man. He's very tall. And he originated on the Something Awful forum on Reddit. And so, essentially, they had a Photoshop competition to see who could make the creepiest picture with the creepiest backstory. And the creator of Slenderman was created these images of a tall, faceless man in a suit, just hidden in the background of, I believe, 3 photos. And there's the most popular one, which appears to be a bunch of children on a field trip or something in the woods, and off in the background you can just see him hanging out. And that was the beginning of Slenderman. That if you look back through history and all of these old photographs, he will just be there. And usually it happens, he's very similar to Mothman, where he shows up like days or weeks before a tragedy. So the whole story is that in the picture of the kids, they all died in a horrible fire or whatever. They didn't, for the record.
Yeah, no, yeah. They didn't, but in this story.
In the story, they died. And so the creators of Marble Hornets were like, "Hey, it's free real estate.
This is good, man.
You got something there." And thus was born the Operator. And I make a statement about it later on, but the Operator is very different from what we commonly know as Slenderman. So in Marble Hornets, there are a few different signs to show that the Operator is around. And the main one is known as operator sickness, quote unquote. And it is essentially those who are under the influence of the Operator start hacking up blood and just getting really dizzy, and they can't really stand up. And that shows that the Operators are around and near. Another way that you can see in the videos on the YouTube channel that the Operator is around is camera disturbances, such as the audio will go all wonky and will reverse itself as someone's talking, or there will be static on the screen. It's a bunch of obvious to not so obvious things. But soon enough, after Jay starts watching these tapes and posting them onto the Marble Hornets YouTube account, all of the things that start happening in the videos that he's watching begin to happen to him. It starts off with, "Yeah, this is the first tape. Take a look at it. Look at that. That's kind of funky, isn't it?" And then a few weeks later on his Twitter account, he's like, "Hey, guys, I've started not being able to sleep, and it kind of sucks." And slowly, it unravels that Jay is being visited by the Operator, and all of this stuff. He begins to see it in his everyday life. And I don't really want to spoil it for the 3 listeners that we have. So I am going to suggest going to Marble Hornets on YouTube and delving into the over 2 hours of content that is on this channel, plus the Twitter feed.
Oh, lots of content.
I know it seems...
to hyperfixate on.
Oh, yeah. And I know it seems really long, but it is a short 2+ hours, I promise. Even if you don't want to sit there for 2+ hours and watch Marble Hornets and go through the Twitter feed, because after a while they did try to start a second ARG. I don't entirely remember what it's called off the top of my head, but I do think that they added a few more things from onto that same Twitter account. So it would be a lot easier to go to the YouTube channel Nightmind, NIGHTMIND. He has a very good explanation video. It's a series of videos, but he has very good explanations and walkthroughs of most of the ARGs I'm going to be talking about today. So that shortens it from 2+ hours to maybe hour and a half max. Because there are 3 seasons of Marble Hornets. Seasons, quote unquote.
So good summary if you don't want to do it all.
Yeah, if you don't want to have to commit.
Or maybe you'll get really interested in that and you want to go to the original.
But I don't want to spoil it. So I think that's where I'm going to end with Marble Hornets. Highly recommend Marble Hornets. It's very good. There are a few jump scares, and I know that you don't like those.
Scares.
So I think that you would be better with Nightmind's walkthrough.
Or I'll just turn the subtitles on or whatever.
Subtitles can be hard, though. Because
auto-generated, they'll be beforehand, though.
Fair.
So then they'll be like, monster pops out from corner, and I'll be like, oh.
Well, not auto-generated. Monster pops from corner will not be in the auto-generated.
Yes, it will. Spooky noise comes from left.
Ookie spook.
Ookie spook
but
from
no,
corner, question mark?
With the Marble Hornets, a lot of these are multiple different accounts interacting with each other. So to just come in after the fact is very hard.
Okay.
So it would be a lot better to look up summaries. Like, you can watch all of the videos, and I highly recommend you watch the videos in their fullerness. Fullness. I'm not an English major. I don't know.
You know what? It's okay. You can't be everything.
I can't. I'm a media design major, and you're the one who edits these episodes.
Not all of them.
No. Most of them. But, so I do recommend looking up walkthroughs.
Yeah.
So from there, we are going to be staying in the Slenderverse, so to speak. That's what it's been called.
All right.
Everyman Hybrid follows Vincent, Evan, and Jeff as they film and create their amateur workout channel. Don't read my screen.
I'm reading your screen. I've been doing this whole time.
I know. Don't do that. It's cheating. That's why you don't respond to me.
I don't respond anyway. I'm not an active listener.
You're right. Everyman Hybrid is the title of their amateur workout channel.
During workouts.
That's exactly. It's Hi, my name is Jeff. And you can work out your abs by doing sit-ups in the park.
Oh,
that's exactly what it is. You can work out your legs by pushing your car in neutral up a hill.
Oh my gosh, I hate it.
It's very much work with what you got. You got a car.
Yeah.
Push it.
Push the car. Don't drive it.
No, they do. They do have a little disclaimer. Have a buddy in the car to make sure that it goes where it needs to.
Or it doesn't roll back on you.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Buddy in the car for safety. But during the first 5 or so videos, there is an entity lurking in the background. Say it with me now, Emma. A tall, ominous, faceless, slender-suited man.
How did you expect me to say that with you?
You can read.
You told me to stop, so I don't know where it is.
I can see you looking at my screen.
I'm trying to find it now. Wait, let's do it again.
Okay, where am I? Okay. An ominous, tall, faceless, suited man watching them from the shadows. As you may have guessed, Emma, this is the Slender Man.
I read it.
Yeah, the creepypasta character. And now, notice, once again, how we are referring to him as Slender Man now, and not the operator. Because at this point, they are now 2 very different properties. Because Slender Man, at this point of Everyman Hybrid, has become the internet urban legend that he is known as today.
Mm-hmm.
And so the operator was a whole different story and is essentially Slenderman before the Slenderman, with a much cooler name.
Yeah, okay.
In video number 6, an entity invades their home while the boys are filming. Each member of the team believes that one of the others is behind it, thinking that they brought a fourth friend to spook them. It is revealed that that is, in fact, incredibly false. They got spooks, man.
They got spookies coming after them.
Hate to break it to you, you're haunted. They do make other haunted friends along the way, though, including Habit, an unknown entity who is taunting the boys over Twitter. And I would like to say that I'm using the term friend very loosely.
Is he bully?
A lot of it.
Aw.
After a bit, the viewers of the channels are pulled in by Habit to perform trials. The 7 trials of Habit then took place over the span of months. These trials required the viewers to log in and make themselves one of the rabbits, quote unquote. They are Habit's rabbits.
Rhyme.
Yeah. It's a song reference, I think.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow.
Wow, aren't
So quirky.
they quirky? These trials ranged from burying things that you hold near and dear to yourself in your backyard to voting.
Not Pushin.
Oh yes, the Pushin paper bag
Pushin
in the
must
yard.
be buried.
May he rest in peace.
R.I.P. in peace.
R.I.P. in peace, my guy. So they range from burying Pushin in the backyard to then voting 2 other rabbits to be the leader and the runt of their rabbit pack. It falls further and further into madness from there. The rabbits were made to go out into public and begin yelling, I am a creature of habit, something, habit, all of this stuff. They were told to film themselves doing that and then email it to Habit. And they were sent boxes and packages, depending. It's a lot. It requires a lot of trust that we in the good old year of 2021 do not own.
Over the internet.
Yeah.
No. You don't do none of this now.
Yeah, at some point, they were like, yeah, you can send us your address and we will send you things.
Oh my gosh, people actually used to do that now.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, no.
No.
No. As much as I may trust these men, I do not trust these men. No. It falls into madness. Our boys get attacked by a monster that has come to be known as the Rake. There are a few cameo appearances from other Slenderverse ARG people. Someone eats a baby. Evan kills a deer with his bare hands. Normal stuff that happens every day.
Oh, yeah, normal day occurrences.
Normal day at the
Just your
beach.
normal Wednesday afternoon.
Oh, yeah. Everyman Hybrid accumulates in a plethora of plot twists that would make M. Night Shyamalan weak in the knees.
Okay.
Once again, this ARG is really interesting and has a really mind-boggling ending that I can only endorse that you go through it yourself. Once again, there is a bit of a Twitter element, a YouTube element, and the whole trials being there add to even more confusion because the Everyman hybrid Twitter gets switched back and forth from Everyman to Habit because he, quote-unquote, hacks it. It's a whole plot twist. I don't want to spoil it from here. And I suggest watching an explanation video. Once again, the YouTuber Nightmind has some really good coverage of the story, and I think we should link his channel in the show notes.
Yeah,
And if we forget to, I'm pretty sure people know how to navigate YouTube.
Yeah.
Just look up
In
Nightmind
this day and age.
in our good year, the year of our good Lord 2021. I'm pretty sure y'all can navigate YouTube. If you just look up Nightmind on YouTube, you should be able to find the Everyman hybrid playlist. We are now going to be taking a break from the small screen of our phones and laptops and be taking a look at the silver screen. So-
switching to fancy schmancy.
Yeah, we get fancy now. So we talked in the opening about advertisement committees and how they are not above creating ARGs to market their films. We already talked about artificial intelligence, but there have been numerous movies that have pulled similar stunts. In 2007, The Dark Knight was about to be released, and hundreds of defaced $1 bills were slowly being sent into circulation.
That's illegal.
That's illegal. Our main man, G-Wash, was sporting the ever-festive Joker smile and black eyeliner that would put even the most emo of freshman year's Delaney to shame. Why So Serious was written on each of them. Players were sent on an elaborate scavenger hunt in a culmination of events. I read that wrong. In a culmination of events at a cosplay convention, a group of characters were following their scavenger hunt when a black van came screeching up beside them and pulled a man dressed as the Joker in. The door slammed shut, and sounds of struggles and screams of pain could be heard from inside. The van then sped away, leaving everyone else on the street shaken and confused. Later in the day, players were informed that the man who was taken off the street was the Joker, and that he had been killed, and therefore his streak of crime had been ended for good. The Gotham City Police Department had finally put an end to the Joker.
Oh.
This all culminated in the release of the Dark Knight movie, starring Heath Ledger as the Joker, leading everyone to realize that the man that they had pulled off the street was murdered in cold blood. Disclaimer, he was not.
It was a advertisement thing. He was not killed.
Yeah. I don't want anyone to believe that there were actually murders in this. There were not. You can actually still find quote-unquote Gotham City police reports on the internet.
Murders are only in Emma's stories.
Oh, no. The murders are everywhere.
No,
we
no,
talked
they're
about
in
the Slenderman
We
stabbing.
just talked about Slenderman.
That was true crime.
Yeah.
But you can still find Gotham City police reports on the internet today, and I highly recommend reading through them, because essentially it is just Commissioner Gordon here. We killed the Joker today. Good job, team.
Good job.
It's fancier than that.
We done good.
We done did good. Plot twist, we killed an innocent man in cold blood. Oh no.
This small email the next day. It was the wrong one.
Oh, yeah. Hey fam. Hate to break it to you. We did ungoof.
We messed up. Oops.
So, we have a few more. I didn't really go into detail typing them out because I know essentially enough about them that I can vamp a little bit about it.
Mm-hmm.
But in the opening, once again, I talked about the Twitter account The Sun Vanished. Essentially, the gist of that account, $5 says you can guess what it's about. Our poster on Twitter wakes up one day, and the opening line is, "The sun didn't rise today."
This is Editing Delaney. I made a few errors, and we talk about what I said a little bit, so I'm not going to cut it out, but it's not the first tweet. The first 4 tweets actually go as follows. Help. Second tweet. It's late in the morning, and it's still dark outside. Third tweet. I can hear the tornado sirens in the next county over, but the weather radar is clear. Fourth tweet. Where is the sun? And that's what it actually is. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Which, yo,
man, this ain't good.
What's that about? And obviously, we all know that the sun did rise.
It did rise.
But wherever the poster is, it didn't. And they have footage of news broadcasts that are just a news reporter sitting there going, "As we all know, the sun did not rise today. Chaos has broken out in the streets," all of this stuff. And I'm like, that's very good. Good for you. And there's a lot of thoughts about aliens.
Well, anything with outer space,
Yeah.
Moon disappearing,
They
sun going away. It's aliens, bro.
they ended it before they ended. They might come back, but as of right now, they haven't. They ended it without a whole lot of an explanation as to where the sun went, but theorizers have speculated that there are things covering the sun, and this is a fact, this isn't speculation anymore, there are things roaming around known as a lot of different things, and they are essentially just like red lights. And so I think someone called them the deadlights at one point. There's a lot of different, which adds into it being realistic. There's a lot of different names for it because not in an apocalyptic scenario, not everyone is going to be calling these things the same thing. They're not going to have a town hall meeting, be like,
Yeah,
hey.
there's no meetings, no minutes.
Yeah. It's like, hey guys. So what are we calling this?
We calling this red thing?
Yeah.
What's it called?
What is it?
Spread the word.
Yeah, spread the word. Graffiti
Let
it.
Heather know.
Yeah.
Over.
Yeah. I see that Heather Donahue isn't here right now.
Someone let her know next time she's here.
Does anyone have her number? Might want to text her.
We calling these things red dots, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We calling them dot boys, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
I agree.
Okay. Meeting adjourned. Gavel noise. So, another ARG that's over Twitter is Dear David. That's essentially a dude named Adam. He's a BuzzFeed writer. He is haunted by a little ghost of a boy named David. And he sees him in his dreams, and then he has a second dream about a little girl who's like, "Hey, you saw David, didn't you?" And he's like, "Yeah, what?" She's like, "You can ask him two questions, but don't ask him a third one. If you ask him a third question, you die." And he's like, "Oh, okay." The next night, he has a dream about him, and he's like, "Oh, what happened to you?" David's like, "A shelf fell on my head." No, a shelf was pushed on my head.
Oh, even worse.
And the second question, who did this to you? There's a second question. I don't remember. The third question is, who did this to you? And at that point, Adam realizes, oh no, I've asked a third question, and I did not supposed to do that. And then he wakes up, and calamity ensues from there. He's haunted. At one point, he makes a David doll, like the creator, Adam, makes there are real life pictures of David showing up. It's weird. It kind of jumps the shark at some points.
Okay, yeah.
It's a lot. There may or may not be a movie coming out about it. I don't know. It's weird. The Blair Witch Project, the movie, did a very similar marketing scheme where they acted as if it was 100% real and that all of the actors in the movie weren't actors and that they were actually people who actually had died. Take a shot every time I say actually.
Actually.
Literally. Not metaphorically. No, and so that's a lot of very similar. And I think that the it's kind of an escape room, but the company Hunt a Killer.
Oh,
you're familiar.
Yeah, like they send little things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this person was murdered. I know what happened.
That is very much in the style of an ARG.
Yeah, they have like newspaper clippings or like what's the one? Obituaries. And whatnot. Yeah.
Fun fact, Hunt a Killer has a Blair Witch box.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's written by two people that I listen to their podcast. Not sponsored by Guide to the Unknown.
Okay.
There we go. That's the podcast name. So, after that, thank you for listening to Of Goths and Goblins. Please remember to rate and review us on iTunes. Don't forget to like and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Of Goths and Goblins. Just like that, all one word, to laugh at us for being idiots. If you have an idea for the next show, please send us an email at www.ofgothsandgoblins@gmail.com. Just like that, all word, no one word, no capitalization. Thank you again, and remember, pray. If you do not believe in a higher power, pray harder.